Hello, everyone. Welcome, friends. I am so honored that you're here today. Whether you are live with me or catching the replay, I want to invite you to take a big breath, a deep breath with me. Tonight, we're going to be talking about something many of us have felt, but we rarely speak about. And this is today's topic. I am afraid I am too much. So if you are here live with me, just type into the chat, type the words into the chat. Too much. Too much. Let me know that I am not here all by my lonesome. Would love to see you. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. I am going to pull up our Instagram here. Hang on. I want to just see that we are live so I can see you. All right. And that's not working for me. So we're just going to go with it. All right. So here we go. Have you been told that you are too much? Have you been told that? Too emotional, too needy, too intense, too complicated, too messy, too passionate. If you have ever heard that or felt like you had to tone yourself down just to be accepted, loved, or safe, this conversation is for you. And friends, this is a safe space. There is no shame, no judgment here, only curiosity, compassion, and truth. If you want to agree with me on that, thank you. Go ahead and drop a word or an emoji in the comments if you have been ever told that you were too much for someone. All right, I see you. Too much. And I'm going to try this one more time. There we go. Okay. I hope that you're here with me. So let me know that you are joining. I'm going to try and follow the chats in all of our platforms. But if you have that thought, I am afraid I am too much, means I am fearful that I am too much. I want to remind you that fear didn't start with you. You didn't come into the world believing that you were too much. Somewhere along the way, friends, maybe in your childhood, maybe in your marriage, maybe in your ministry, in your community, in your hobbies, you got that message. Someone called your deep emotions inconvenient. Someone made you feel like your questions, your dreams, your intensity were overwhelming. And then slowly you learned to hide. If that's you and you have learned to hide, just type into the chat, I have learned to hide, or even just the word hide. Because when we feel like we are too much, we can shrink back, we can go small, and we can hide. And that's never God's best for us. All right? So here's the good news. What people label as too much is often telling, often representative of what God calls his design. Would you agree? You have been designed with a destiny and a dignity. I see you, Luz. Hi there, friends. I'm going to peek over here. Hi, Instagram friends. So glad that you're here. Hey, YouTube. All right. So Psalm 34:18 reminds us, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Have you ever felt crushed in spirit? If you have, go ahead and type that into the chat. I see some of you type in hide, and I'm going to wait and see. Do you ever feel like you're crushed in your spirit? Let me know that I'm not alone. I know I have had moments in my life where I have felt absolutely crushed in my spirit. And God never turns away from your death. He leans in and he comes to us. He comes down to us. He's not waiting for us to chase and run after him. He comes to us. Hey, Emma. Hey, Luz. I see you. All right. So I'm curious. Hey, Jenny, crushed in spirit. All right. Thanks, friends. Okay, here's my other question. Who first made you feel like you were too much? Who first made you feel like you were too much? I know in my house, I was a little bit too much for my parents at times. I was a little bit too much for my siblings at times. And then as I grew older, I was a little bit too much for my friends at times. Anybody else hear that? Let me know. Who first? And remembering that this is Leslie Vernick's public forum, okay? So whatever you type into the chat could be viewed later by other people. But if you feel safe to share, who first made you feel like you were too much? Go ahead and type it in the chat. I see you. Okay, Christian Spirit. All right, Instagram, I see you. Your mom. Your mom made you feel like you were too much. I'm sorry about that. My parents. I see you, Celine. So we can't shift or change what we do not see or what we are not aware of. So thank you for taking just a moment and sharing who first made you feel like you were too much. All right. So the lie is this. Is there a lie? Let me see. Okay, Crystal, I see you. Your mom also. Okay, Emma, I see you too. All right. We've got some mama wounds. Sometimes we've got some daddy wounds, and these are real. And so when you were told you were too much, did you have a lie in your mind that you believed? Did you have a lie in your mind that you believed, or a belief that you were holding on to because of being told or made to feel like you were too much? Go ahead and type what the thought was that was running through your mind in that space of being too much. I know one of them for me was, if I am quiet, I will be safe. And if I don't rock the boat, I will be loved. That was one of the beliefs that I have held throughout the many decades of my life. Let me know if that's you. I would love to know that I'm not all alone in this space. So let me know. Okay, I wasn't good enough. There is a belief system. What else? What else, friends? There are costs to the thoughts that we have in our mind that are on repeat over and over again. If I shrink, I'll be safe. If I'm small, I'll be loved. Okay, I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't important. All right, so there is some costs when that comes in. Thank you, Emma. I am not enough. Okay, here's the cost. What did it cost you to live in that mental headspace with that thought? What did it cost you when you were feeling like you were too much? What came up for you? What did it cost? Okay, I wasn't important. Gotcha. I see you. My voice doesn't matter. Keep it going in the chat, friends. This is how we're going to learn from each other. Don't question our theology. We have heard that. And you are too much if you ask questions. You are too much if you don't agree with everybody all the time. I see you. All right, so what is the cost in that? It costs you yourself. Yeah. We can overfunction in all of our relationships. That is a cost. We become an overer, I call it. It costs you self-love, and it costs you your confidence. Yeah, and what comes up for me when I'm reading that right now is you silence your own needs and you measure your worth by other people's comfort. And when we do that, I want to challenge us to think about we're disappearing piece by piece. We're disappearing. The essence, the core of who we are is made super small that we disappear. And then sometimes we can allow other people to erase us. Yeah, it costs you your voice or to speak up and say how you feel. Thank you for engaging with me. If this is resonating with you, I want to share something that's coming up here in our community that you're going to want to know about. Next week, we have an opportunity for you to join us. I'm putting up the link right now, in our Moving Beyond Insecurity Coaching Week Challenge. If you have not registered for that yet, I want to encourage you to go to leslievernick.com/challenge and save your seat for the challenge. It's only $17 for the entire week. And we are going to say no more to disappearing piece by piece. Because, friends, God did not create you to shrink. He created you to shine. Do you believe that? Do you believe that you were made to shine? We do, Celine. We can become what other people's want us to and not our authentic self, right? We get covered up. We absolutely get covered up by other people's opinions of us or telling us that we are too much. But I'm going to repeat it again super quick. God didn't create you to shrink. He created you to shine. And if you want to learn to shine bright for Christ, you want to join us in our Moving Beyond Insecurity Coaching Week. It's a full week of coaching for only $17. It starts June the 23rd and runs all the way through the 27th of June. And you get to coach with our entire coaching team here at LV & Co. And we would love to have you join us. You can find all the details, again, at this link right below me. And if you can't see it because you're just listening right now, it's leslievernick.com/challenge. We want you here with us. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Leanne Parsons, and I am a professional certified coach on Leslie's team. And I'm really honored to be here with you. If this is your very first time joining us on a live, go ahead and type a 1 into the chat. I would love to meet new friends. I do see some familiar faces, and I would love to know if you're new. So if God didn't create you to shrink, He created you to shine. How do I know that to be true? Well, I go right to God's word for this. And we love God's word here at LV & Co. And I'm going to go to 2 Timothy 1:7 right now. And it says, God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but a power of love and self-discipline. Of power, love, and self-discipline. That is the spirit that God has given us, not of fear and not of timidity. So I love that you are typing into the chat about what it has cost you to believe that you are too much. It cost you your voice. It cost you to say how you feel. It costs you your identity. It costs you your shine, your self-love, and your confidence. Okay. Well, I want to offer us up another perspective. If you feel safe right now, just drop some more phrases into the chat, whether you are here live or listening on the replay, because we want to know the cost and we want to highlight this, because being told that we are too small and then soaking that in and believing it, absorbing other people's negative words toward us impacts us. And I am here really committed to help us redeem some of what other people, other words have tried to steal from us. And if you want to redeem and reclaim more of who you are and stop playing small and learn to shine again, please join us for our Moving Beyond Insecurity Challenge, because playing small is often an insecure response to other people's words, like you are too small or too much or not enough, too sensitive, too spiritual, too whatever. All right, I see you. So let's redeem some of this together. Do you want to redeem it with me? I would love to have you join me in this redemption process today. All right. So if we're going to reclaim together that and own the fact that being too much is actually the echo of the gift that God put in you. So when I say that, I have been told in my life that I am too sensitive. Have any of you here in this space been told that you are too sensitive? If that's true, just type it into the chat. You can just type in me and I'll see it. I'll see it. Yeah. Okay. The cost of making bad decisions. I'm still living with those repercussions. I see you. All right. So if you have been told that you are too sensitive. Okay, Crystal, I see you. Keisha. All right. So I've been told I'm too sensitive. I had to really do a lot of work around this, ladies, because it really impacted me. And it caused me to stop expressing what was going on inside of me. And it caused me to hide a little bit, to play small. All right, Renee, I see you. You're ready to be redeemed as well. Melody, I see you. How about you, Instagram? Y'all ready to be redeemed? Go ahead and type it into the chat if you're ready to be redeemed as well. All right, so you've been told you're too sensitive. I get it. I have been too. What if your sensitivity is your discernment? What about that? What if your sensitivity is your superpower? That's what I often say. What if it is your discernment? Then what would be possible if being sensitive is a gift that God gave you, that He is honing, cultivating, and nourishing in you? And then if you try to, or you succumb to other people's words that you are too much, too sensitive, then you hide it. And then you're not bringing your discernment to the world. That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. And let that not be said of us. That's why we are here on our team, committed to doing these lives for you, because we want you to live fully into the woman God created you to be, and not to hide or not to be reduced by other people. Because here's the deal. You don't need to disappear piece by piece. How many of you have been told you're just way too strong? Maybe it comes across as you're too controlling. And it's because you have an opinion. What about that one? Anybody? Anybody resonate with that? Let me know. Go ahead and type it into the chat. Yeah. Okay. What if your strength is your calling? What about that? What if your strength is your calling? Yeah, Renee, what would be different if we actually were encouraged to use the gifts that God has given you? Even if we get discouraged, we're not going to hide our gifts. All right, Michelle, I see you. You're learning you no longer need to tolerate bad behavior or negative people. Congratulations. So what I'm hearing is your strength is your calling. Your discernment is found in your sensitivity. Yeah. Okay, so how about this one? Has anybody ever told you to stop crying because your emotions are too much for somebody else? Again, maybe that you're too sensitive, you're too emotional. How about that? How about that? My narcissist husband has told me I am too opinionated. Thank you for sharing. I see you. Hi, Marcia. Good to see you. Okay, your strength is your calling. Yeah, thank you for typing that into the chat. So, what about when other people tell you that they're uncomfortable with your emotions and you're too emotional? What if your tears are part of your intercession for other people? What if that's the Holy Spirit prompting you? Tears are not a bad thing. Maybe you, like me, have been told that your tears are a distraction. I'm sorry. And I could say me too. All right. Okay, I see you. Thanks, Jenny. He complains later about your tears, although he's the one who brought them on. Yeah, many people in our lives complain about what they activate in us. And when we get activated, it probably means there's some fears or insecurity bubbling up. And so I will just encourage you to go to leslievernick.com/challenge to join our Moving Beyond Insecurity Coaching Week. Because sometimes when other people's words get thrown at us, it feels like a dagger. It can cause some insecurity to well up in us. Well, what are we going to do when that fear or insecurity wells up in us? What are we going to do? We could play small and we could shrink, or we can remember that we are made to shine. All right, you did sign up, Jenny. Great. Welcome to our coaching family. We want to welcome as many of you as we can to our coaching family next week. We are starting this challenge next Monday, June 23rd through the 27th. We are going to be live every day. Our entire coaching team, Coach Susan, Coach Diana, and myself are going to be walking with each one of you every day, not here. We're not going to be live here next week. We're going to be in a private group in Zoom, coaching you through everything from self-doubt to negative self-talk, perfectionism, unhealthy people-pleasing, and shame and guilt. And we would love to have you join us. So friends, if your sensitivity is your discernment and your strength is your calling and your tears are your intercession for other people and for your own life, that's telling me that you're not too much. You are just right for the kingdom's call on your life. You know, I've been working on a little project of mine. I am a writer, and I'm going to say this out loud. I'm working on a book, and I have been leaning into Ephesians 2:10 today. And so I wanted to bring that to the table for all of us today when we think of being too much. God never says that we're too much. He says this in Ephesians 2:10, for you are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so that we can do the good things he's planned for us long ago. Long ago. Isn't that encouraging? So write into the chat. Join me in this conversation. I am not too much. I am his masterpiece. Go ahead and type it into the chat. Wherever you are, whatever platform you're on, I invite you to declare once and for all that you're not too much. Don't let the words of other people derail you or put chains on you or cause you to feel insignificant or small. Let's declare some things and type it into the chat. This is one way we can do it together. I am not too much. I am his masterpiece. I see you, Jack. Thanks for typing it into the chat. Yes, you are. You are his masterpiece. Thank you for typing in the chat. We get to own that. And so what was that like, even typing it into the chat and declaring it just now? Hey, Joy, I see you. Hi, Kathy. I am his masterpiece, not too much. I am not too much, Joy says. I am God's masterpiece. Hi, SH. Love it. I am his with a capital HIS. Okay. So we've got this insight. I want to shift us, just like we're going to be doing all next week. We're going to shift our insight into transformation. Crystal, I'm so glad that you're here. All right. Hey, E2W Jewelry, thank you for typing that into our Instagram. Thank you for being here. Okay, so is it okay if I do a little coaching tool with y'all? If you want to have a little coaching tool tonight that you can exercise when you are starting to feel like you want to shrink, when you have been told that you are too much. If you want a little coaching tool, will you type into the chat just the word tool? And let me know that I'm tracking and I'm serving you well. It does feel like throwing off an unwanted role. I love that. And if you have questions around this topic, because I'm going to stay on topic tonight, if you have questions around feeling like you're too much and shrinking, then I want you to send your question. If you're afraid to type it into the chat, which I totally get, because you don't want other people to see it, you want to remain anonymous, you can send your question to leslievernick.com/question/, and your question will come right to me. All right. Okay. I'm seeing you want some tools. Okay. Instagram, you want some tools too? All right, here we go. So let's move from insight to transformation. The tool that I want to introduce you to is a simple tool that I use with some of my coaching clients, and it's really all about shrinking or shining. And it's a bit of a self-reflection map. All right. It's designed to help you identify where you've been shrinking in your life and then imagine where God is inviting you to shine. Okay, so grab a piece of paper or your journal, grab something to write with. Okay, so when you have your piece of paper and something to write with, just type into the chat, I'm ready. I don't want to go too fast. So if you've got paper and you've got a pen or pencil to write with, or a journal, just type in, I'm ready. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to be too fast for you. I'm not going to be too much. I'm going to give us breath and space to breathe. Okay, I see that you're ready. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line down the middle of your paper. Okay, right down the middle, draw a line. On the left-hand side, I want you to label it where I shrink. Okay, on the right-hand side, I invite you to label it where I shine with God's help. So go ahead and do that on your paper. Go ahead and do that on your paper. The left column, I want you to write down some areas right now where you've been silencing your voice, dimming your light, or tiptoeing around other people. Okay, that's on the left side. Thanks, Crystal. You're so sweet with your encouragement. I'm really nervous about writing this book, but God's been calling it forth for a lot of years. And you know what? Full transparency, I've been thinking that I didn't have enough good to say and that I am too much or that I am too emotional to write this book. Yeah. So I'm battling with my own thoughts in my mind around this. So thank you for your encouragement. All right. So on the left-hand column, you're writing areas where you've been silencing your voice. You've been dimming your light or tiptoeing around others. And so for me, in full transparency, I could say, along with this book, right? I've been silencing my voice thinking everybody has already said what I'm going to say. I turn down my light. I'm dimming my light when it comes to writing my book. Okay. It's not important enough. Everybody else has already said it. Or I tiptoe around others. What will other people think of me if I say that I'm writing the book? Are they going to shy away? Or are they going to say that I'm too much or too full of myself or all the things? These are areas in my life, friends, where I can struggle. Are you here with me? All right. So now on the right side, I want you to ask the Lord, what would it like for me to shine in that exact area? Okay. So for me, writing my book, right? Silencing my own voice, thinking that what I have to say isn't as important as Leslie or Susan or Diana or a lot of my other friends who have written books. I could think in my mind that my words aren't as important as theirs. They don't have as much weight. They're not as meaningful. They're not as transformational. Okay. And then on the right side, if I were to answer, just like I'm encouraging you to do, because if you know me, I don't step into anything that I don't step into anything myself that I'm asking you to do. So on the right side, ask the Lord, what would it look like for me to shine in that exact area? For me to shine in that exact area, part of it is me speaking it out loud to all of you that I am writing a book. That's what it would look like for me to shine. Unashamed, saying, I've got something in the hopper that's been brewing for many years that I'm actually going to see to fruition. Okay. I am not saying that I want to shine or that it's going to help me to shine because I want to dominate or write over anybody else or any of that. That is not it. I want to reflect Christ boldly, beautifully, and honestly. And if I withhold that, and if I get too afraid to shine, I will never write my book. My book is starting as a children's book for my grandchildren. That's where it's beginning because God's called me to leave a legacy with them as I live my legacy with you all. So I'm not trying to dominate or overwrite or do anything for anybody. This is something that God has called me to do. So how about for you? Where do you shrink? Right? You're typing that in on the left-hand side. Do you avoid conflict to keep the peace? How will you shine? I will speak the truth in love with kindness and strength. Let me know if you're still with me. Just type the word shine or shrink in the chat, just so I know I'm not here by myself. I want to know that this is resonating with you. This is a coaching tool. And during our Moving Beyond Insecurity week, we are going to be walking you through many different coaching tools and explorations. But I wanted to give you a little sneak peek about what is it like to explore and start shifting our beliefs around. Thank you. I know you've been writing in your journals, and I'm grateful. But I love that you're still here with me. Thank you, Jenny, Sandy, Christina. I see you, Kim. All right. So what about this one? Are you shrinking by downplaying your talents? Hiding the best in you because you're afraid of other people's opinions? And maybe God is calling you to use your gifts to serve and glorify God. What about that? There is the shrink and the shine. How about this one? Are you shrinking by hiding your emotions, not letting other people see all your feels? Is that a way that you shrink? Let's just get real with each other, get real with God. Most of all, get real with yourself, friends, because we can't shift or change what we will not admit or mention. I learned from somebody many years ago, what is unmentionable is unmanageable. And I believe that with my whole heart. So if I hide my emotions, how will I manage them if I am not giving them voice? Okay. So if we hide our emotions, we're shrinking. What about this one? What about shining? If we honor our feelings and bring them before the Lord, He can help us regulate them. And we get to honor what He's given us. Your emotions are yours. Sometimes they come out of nowhere. I have tears that sneak out my eyes sometimes. I have anger that burns in my belly sometimes. And I've got to feel it to heal it. And I've got to heal it or deal with it to heal it. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yeah, what is unmentioned is unmanageable. We don't want to shrink, friends. Okay. What about this one? Do you say yes when you want to say no? That's shrinking. That's shrinking, friends. Have you ever done that? Have you ever said yes when you want to say no? Or maybe your shrink is you have said no when you want to say yes. It can go both ways. It can go both ways. And what if the shine is I get to cultivate a boundary that will reflect my God-given worth? What about that? I want to be an image bearer. God's called me to be an image bearer for Him. And if I am saying yes when I want to say no, or saying no when I want to say yes, I'm shrinking, I'm hiding, I'm downplaying my talents or my gifts. I'm playing small. If I'm believing the lie that other people have told me that I am too much, too sensitive, too whatever, it's going to cause me to shrink back. Okay. So did you write down some shrink phrases or shine phrases? Do you have it in your journal? I'm just speaking them out loud in the moment with you because I wanted to be real and authentic with you. All right. Have you written them down? Have you written them down? I see you. Okay. So you wrote down at least one shrink and one shine phrase. Okay. I want to take it one step further for you. All right. And this is what we do in our group coaching experiences. We walk with you as coaches. We do real coaching for real women in real situations in our coaching groups. Okay. If this is resonating with you, I want to encourage you to go to leslievernick.com/challenge and learn about what we have coming up for you next week, because we've got an amazing opportunity for you to join our coaching team for an entire week of coaching, walking you through exploration and tools just like this. We're going to meet every day next week, either in the afternoon or in the evening. And we're going to walk you through explorations just like we're doing here, because I don't want you to get caught in the lies or the belief systems that you need to hide the best in you, whether it's to cover up the icky in someone else or because you are being held back by some belief that you believe about you that's causing you to hide. Okay? That's why I'm here. It's why I'm passionate about coming to you live as much as we can. All right. So type into the chat and let me know that let's put a phrase in. Let's change it up. Let's change it up. So we're leaning in and we're doing a tool. You asked for one. I want you to type in, I choose to shine by. And I want you to finish the sentence if you're ready. Okay. I choose to shine by what I just did. I told y'all I'm working on a children's book. I choose to shine by speaking out what it is God has called me to do. That's mine. What is yours? What is yours? God has called you to shine. Please finish the sentence. I choose to shine by. Go ahead and finish the sentence if you're ready. If you don't type it into the chat, that's cool. If you do type it into the chat, I'm going to celebrate with you. And it's a way that you can declare what it is God is calling you to do. And here's the deal. We don't oftentimes shift or change our mindsets overnight. We just need to name what's true and take the next step. I choose to shine by examining why I shrink. Love that. I'm so grateful that you typed that into the chat. Jenny says, I choose to shine by using healthy boundaries and speaking truthfully and unabashedly. We don't need to bash other people in order to shine. In fact, sometimes our shine gets all distorted and icky if we bash or shame or belittle other people. And just because we're shiny doesn't mean other people can't shine. Guess what? When you start shining, you're going to give permission to other people to shine bright too. All right, I choose to shine by getting over fear. I choose to shine by exposing and looking at the truth. I choose to shine by honoring my feelings and allowing God to help me regulate them. I love that. What about you, Instagram? How do you choose to shine? We get to name what's true here, ladies, and we get to take the next step because you are not too much. You are not too much. Some of you shrink because you don't feel safe to be fully you in your relationships. And I'm sorry about that. Please get safe emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, sexually, whatever it is. Because here's the deal. You are not too much. You were never meant to shrink to be safe. You were created to reflect the very light of your Creator. All right. Oh, thanks, Jenny. I see you. All right. So you're not too much. Okay. If you want to go deeper into this, if this message is resonating with you and you're ready to explore these beliefs more deeply, I do want to invite you in to our coaching challenge week next week, Moving Beyond Insecurity. We're doing it for just 1 week. And inside this group, we're going to walk together through some identity, some boundaries, some freedom, some perfectionism, some negative self-talk. You're going to be supported by a team of wise, loving coaches and a community of women just like you who are walking the same road. So I want to invite you again to go to leslievernick.com/challenge. And you're going to find all the information there. There's a video from Leslie. There's an explanation about what we're going to be doing for the challenge week. And it's only $17. Okay. You don't want to miss it. We only are going to offer it one time. And yes, Kim, there are evening sessions for our Moving Beyond Insecurity week. We're going to have, I think there's two evening sessions. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, our afternoon sessions, and Tuesday, Thursday, our evening sessions for next week's challenge. They are all going to be recorded. So if you can't attend live, you can get the recording and you don't want to miss it because you're going to get videos from us coaches. You're going to get exercises just like this Shrink or Shine shrink or shine exercise I just took you through, there's going to be opportunities for you to do some exploring on your own and then come together in Zoom with, hopefully hundreds of other women who want to do the same thing that you want to do. We want to warmly welcome you to our coaching family. Yeah. So I'm going to pause here for a minute. We've been together for over 30 minutes. What came up for you during the shrink or shine reflection? What resonated with you most? I would love to hear. What resonated with you? What did you gain by doing the shrink or shine exploration? Good, Kim. We want you there live too. It is such good stuff. We're grateful that you're going to sign up. And, I do want to share, we had somebody share the other day when I was live that they had trouble with the page. If you have any trouble with the page or signing up and you want in, email assistant@leslievernick.com and they will help you. I don't want technology to get in your way of getting the coaching that you want to get next week, because we are going to be coaching for an hour every day and we want you there. So what has been and what was your aha moment in the shrink or shine exploration that we did? Would love to hear. Maybe you've got a question. Maybe you want some insight. Well, I'm right here with you. You can send your question to leslievernick.com/question/ and they'll get the question right to me. All right. Let me just check our questions here. All right. Could you expand on what you mean by "I believe I am too much"? So we can all have thoughts that run through our heads that we ruminate on. Okay. We can have thoughts that from other people, perhaps other people have told us certain things about us. Maybe it's brought up some insecurities in them. Hold a minute here while I plug in my iPad before it goes low in power. I want to make sure I see your questions. Okay, here we go. So when we say that we are too much, or other people tell us that we're too much, or we have feelings or thoughts running through our minds on repeat, I'm too sensitive, I'm too controlling, I'm too needy, whatever it is, we can get locked into that thought pattern. When we get locked into that thought pattern, it's hard for us to think another way. And then we start to look around all of our environment for evidence to confirm the thought that we are too much. And if we look long enough, friends, we are going to find it. Would you agree? Perhaps you have been told that you're too much, too sensitive, all the things. And then something bubbles up. And maybe you cry in the middle of church. And like me, maybe you have tears that just start running for no reason. And you're thinking, there it is. There's evidence. I am way too sensitive. Or maybe someone throws a zinger at you and says really unkind things to you. Right? And then you're going, yep, there it is. Yep. I am absolutely too needy. They've told me I'm too needy. They told me that I'm too demanding, all the things. And then you get this deep desire in your belly for more. And then you frame it as negative. You're looking for evidence that you're too much. And you're going to believe it. And one of my passions as a coach is to walk with Christian women who have been living lies told to them by other people, their culture, their family of origin, their partners, their siblings, cousins, neighbors, community members, boss, coworkers. They have been told lies because of other people's insecurities, other people's fears. And then when that happens, they start to believe them and they start living in the lie instead of living in the truth that we are image bearers before the Lord. So that's what I mean by that. I hope that that's helpful. All right. Okay, I'm seeing you. Do I have a written transcript from my class tonight? I don't, but this is always on a recording that you can play back. We save all of these lives here so you can rewatch this. You can share it with friends. You can pause it on the rewind or pause it on the review as you're watching it again and do that. I hope that that's helpful. All right. Celine, thank you. I can decide if I shrink or I can change the narrative with truth in order to shine. Yes, you can. I love it. Thank you, Michelle. I was shrinking in my marriage and I am shining now that I am single. Freedom and being able to choose my path without being under a microscope. Love that. How many of you feel like other people have you under a microscope? And it is deafening for your ears. It helps you not to see your life clearly, and it helps you not to be fully who God created you to be. It's huge. I see you. And we want you to join us in our coaching group, because inside the group, we're going to be talking about identity. We're going to be talking about guilt and shame, perfectionism. What about procrastination? We're going to lean in there too. And we're going to lean into negative self-talk and self-doubt. You don't want to miss it. So please go into this page right below me. I've got a blue banner here and it says Insecurity Coaching Week Challenge. And it starts next week. You don't want to miss a day. We start on Monday. That's just a few days away, right? You can see the schedule and get all the details at leslievernick.com/challenge. We would love to have you join us. Yeah, we really want you to join our coaching family. Okay. I see you. It is powerful imagery, isn't it, Jenny? When someone is not micromanaging us or having us underneath a microscope and examining everything that we do, say, feel, we feel so judged. And, truthfully, when somebody says that you are too sensitive or too needy or whatever it is, okay, they're judging you. They're not being curious and asking you what those tears are all about or what your strong opinions and beliefs, where they came from. They're just throwing judgment at you. And another thing I'm passionate about as a coach is teaching you, walking with you, coaching you into asking curious questions. So just like I wanted you to lean into the shrink or shine exploration, we get to ask ourselves those questions, friends, that I asked you to lean into, Where do you shrink and where do you shine? And what would it look like for you to shine in that exact area that God is calling you to shine in? What do you need to do to shine? Is there something you need to declare? Type it into the chat. I would love to celebrate with you. Y'all are here and you're celebrating with me a bit that I'm going to be writing, or I am writing. I'm currently writing this book. Yeah? Okay. I see you. I'm not seeing any other questions come into the chat. We've got about 10 minutes left together. So if you have a question or you want some insight, I'm here for you. So I just invite you to send me a question. All right. Yeah, the replay will be here. Thank you for asking that. I am so glad that you want to sit with this, friends. There's not many places where we can have honest conversation about the really hard issues. And this whole deal of overfunctioning in relationships is big. And we often do it because we have been told that we are too much or too little or not enough. And many of you are tired of silencing your needs. Many of you, it's wearing you out to measure your worth by other people's comfort. And you're disappearing, like we talked about earlier, piece by piece. Let that not be said of us anymore. We do not need to stay in that space. Okay? We get to restore what has been taken. And so your restoration, your reclaiming starts with you. It starts with you, and it starts right now here in this space. So what if you believed this, that you are not too much for God, you're not too much for love, and you're not too much for safe, healthy relationships? You're not. What if that was something that you started to believe? You may be too much for unhealthy people. That may be very true. And unhealthy people may be too much for you. And that's okay too. Because unhealthy is unhealthy. And we don't want to pretend that unhealthy is healthy. You know, some people that will call you too much are addicted to power. They're addicted to manipulation. They're addicted to gaslighting. And that's not healthy. Some people are addicted to silence. We could name some addictions here, I bet. I bet you could type it into the chat now that we've peeled back some layers. Yeah. So, friends, it's not your job to make yourself easier for other people to swallow. It's your job to become all God created you to be. Do you believe that? If you believe that it's your job to be all that God created you to be, type that into the chat. Just type in, I know my job. I would love to see you, whether you are on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. I would love to see that you know your job. And Debbie, yes, on Instagram, you can join the challenge if you're not married. Of course, this isn't just for married people. And I'm sorry if we have given that impression. Here's the deal. This challenge is for any woman, anybody who wants to break the chains of insecurity, to move beyond insecurity, to move beyond the lies and the fears that hold you back from living fully for Christ. That is what this challenge week is all about. It is not just for people who are married or unmarried, single, divorced, any of the things. There are many people that are going to be joining this insecurity challenge that are in healthy relationships. They're just feeling really insecure to fully be them. And that's okay. All right. You're welcome, Debbie. Thank you for asking that question. This challenge is for anybody who want to kick insecurity to the curb, let go of self-doubt and perfectionism, learn to shake off guilt and shame. That's who this challenge is for. And it's just 1 week long. So when you stop shrinking, you make space to shine. You make space for some healing. And guess what? When you do that, others rise too. You all help me rise into all God created me to be. And I'm so grateful. So what would be different if we had this declaration? And I've got the sun in my eyes a little bit today. What would be powerful and helpful for you if you said, I am not too much. I am a beloved daughter of God. My voice matters. My presence carries purpose. I do not need to shrink to fit in. I get to rise and shine because I am held, I am seen, and I am called by name. I like that mindset shift a lot better than the one that we started this live with. I'm afraid I am too much. I'm too sensitive. All the things. I like the I am not too much. I am growing. I am learning. I am stepping in to my life from today forward as an image bearer. I see you, Connie. I know my job. I'm a daughter of the King. Amen. I know my job, says Jenny. Yeah. I'm so glad you're encouraged, Kim. You know your job. Ladies, the more of us that know our job, it's going to be contagious. And we can kick insecurity together. And we don't do it alone. We do it best in community. We're wounded in relationship and we heal best in relationship with others who are on the same journey and on the same path as we are. All right. Hey, is this message stirring something in your heart? I know it is in me. It's putting a little fire in my belly to keep working on the projects that God has called me to do, to not be afraid to shine, to not be afraid to say that I'm writing a book. You're the first people I've told this. Well, other than my immediate people. But I mean, I'm like publicly saying it. So now you can hold me accountable. So that's why we created this challenge, because we don't want insecurity to stop you from living out your God-given purpose. If God's called you to it, he's going to walk you through it. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? All right. So in our challenge week, we're going to be unpacking some of the beliefs that we've unpacked here tonight. And we want you to join us because we're going to learn from you. Just like I'm getting encouraged by seeing the feed. And whether you're live with me right now or watching this on the replay, I want you to keep populating this feed because here's the deal. We learn from one another and we are better together and we are stronger together. So what's resonating with you the most tonight? What questions might you have? What is one thing? I would love to see it. What is one thing that you're going to do different because of our conversation tonight? I would love to hear, and I would love to pray for you and celebrate with you. Missy, I too am looking forward to next week. Our coaching team is planning and preparing. We've got beautiful things in store for you. Yeah, I love that too, Christina. And I'm going to repeat it again. This is one of my favorite phrases that God has put into the core of my being. If God has called you to it, he's going to see you through it. He is. All right. So what else is God calling you through? I'm going to take it. All right. Oh, I know it's super scary. All these things that God calls us to, sometimes we're afraid and we can do it anyway. What if I am afraid to take the next step? What would be different if you had a community of women who are taking next steps too, and they're ready to champion you and cheer you on and celebrate with you, give you inspired ideas and support? What would be different then? I bet you wouldn't be near as afraid. Would love to hear. Would love to know that you've joined our coaching family. So share with me your thoughts. What's coming up for you? Would love to hear. What's going to be different for you in about 2 minutes when we sign off? I would love to know what's going to be different for you. I see you, friends, and you're not alone. You are deeply loved, and so am I. And God is not done writing your story. He's got chapters that he's going to write in your life. Will you allow him to write them? Will you join us next week in our Moving Beyond Insecurity Challenge? Because perhaps the insecurity that's holding you back, once you kick it to the curb, a whole new chapter is going to open up to you. And God knows what that's all about. I love it, Tamara. You're declaring some things. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight. We so appreciate the connection that you have with us and how you show up and encourage us as a coaching team. And we look forward to seeing you next week. I want to share with you when our next live is, and it is coming up tomorrow, Thursday, June 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, just like this. And we're going to be talking about busting the myth of boundaries. You don't want to miss it. Mark it on your calendar now, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. God bless you, everybody. Take really good care of yourself. Continue to shine and not shrink. And we'll see you soon. Ciao for now.